Hey everybody, how's it going? It is January 14th, 2015. By now we all should have gotten used to writing down the 15 instead of 14. If you're still making those mistakes, shame on you.
That'd be me.
Anyway, tonight's call, it's going to be focused on the point of taking action. This is something that has just consistently been coming up in my world over the past couple days, actually, ever since going to Super Saturday, or the Melanie Mitro training on Saturday over in Pittsburgh. You know, I was sitting there in the audience and listening to all these top coaches speak, and she had the people who were presenting were 5-star diamonds and up at her training. And, you know, it's one of those things that I felt confident in this, and I hope you guys will feel comfort in this, that we are on the right track. I feel that I look at the processes that we've put into place. I look at what are we utilizing for those. Multiple times I heard throughout the presentations that, listen, Beachbody provides you with everything you need. Melanie Mitro was one of the top people who volunteered with Beachbody. She was at a meeting and they asked for volunteers to help develop the Coach Training Academy, and in the 30 Days to Emerald program and the Emerald to Diamond program. So she was one of the key players in developing those programs. And, you know, so if we plug in, she encouraged us all to, and she put us all on the spot too. And I'm going to do the same with you guys. You know, we have all these trainings in the back office, and we have all these videos that we have access to, and we have everything in the back office essentially that we would need in order to run a business, from recruiting new coaches to customers to forming, setting up the awesome customer experience so that they become coaches, because over 75% of our coaches are customers first. So we always have to keep that in mind. But getting back to my point of just taking action, making sure that you are taking action, that's where you really can pull a lot of people out. You can always look at things and plan and sit there and plan and just, get caught up in planning and feel like you're working, but it's not the case. I had a meeting yesterday morning with one of my good friends, and he's been a very successful business person, and he's grown multiple companies, and he'll sell them and everything. But he looked at me and we were talking about stuff, and he goes, "You know what, Glenn, you need to just take action." And again, it sprung up in my face, take action, and so I just thought, okay, something's with that. We need to talk about just taking action. So I am going to go over some of the points that I learned from the training on Saturday. So you'll forgive me. These aren't coming off the top of my head. I'm going to refer over to my notes that I took there at the meeting. But, one of the big things was confidence is the key. You do need to be confident. You do need to build your confidence, but your confidence will not grow if you're sitting there and not taking action. I posted my first blog just late last night. I started a blog on Tumblr, and, I was sitting there and I wrote it and I read it and read through it and I reread it and I edited it and went through it. And then I sat there and I was like, man, I just need to stop and click on, post and just get it out there. And so, that was one thing that I was hesitant to do, but it's just take the action, just make it happen. You can go back and correct things or do whatever you need to at another time. And, that's the same with the content that we're posting in our Facebook pages. If you're, not sharing success stories, and, we heard at our Sunday Super Saturday, 6 stories sell. We have stories. We heard a couple stories up front. There were 4 or 5 ladies up front that presented on their story, their walk with Beachbody. And, all of those stories we now can use because we were there, we were present, and we can go ahead and talk about, how, people have overcome things. How my biggest one that, is Chris Baumer talking about, he was homeless in high school. He moved from hotel to hotel, and, he barely finished high school and all this other stuff, but he took action. He's taking action. He continues to take action. He continues to set big goals. And, that's the other thing, setting your goals and sending those out to your personally sponsored coach. Do that stuff, take action, and write the goals down, talk about your coach, or talk not about your coach, with your coach about the goals, and, see what you can come up with as far as the time commitment you're able to give, and is it a reasonable goal for that. But don't be afraid to, dream big or think big. I think that's one of the things that in the past has held me back, is I've set these goals that I think I can definitely accomplish, which is fine, but at the same time, that's not stretching me. It's not pushing me. It's not encouraging me to take that extra step and do 20 more actions than I normally would be used to. So, let's see. Another consistent theme that I heard there, and this is just, again, coming from top coaches, and I know some of you on the call that listen to this, maybe you don't want to be a top coach, or you don't want to, those aren't your goals. You just want to get your Shakeology paid for. But, those of you that do want to be a top coach or do want to make this a full-time career, they're saying that 10 is non-negotiable. And they really they really broke that down to 10 invites a day or 10 contacts a day. And the question at the end of the program was asked by somebody to this forum that they had up on stage: what do you mean by 10 invites? You guys are talking about 10 invites. What does that look like? What does that mean? Are you talking about 10 invites to Beachbody, challenge groups, or what? And a lot of them said, no, that doesn't have to be. They said, what it is not, though, it is not creating an event and inviting 400 of your friends to the event. It's one-on-one conversations or messaging back and forth to 10 people a day, and creating and starting the relationships with them, which then eventually turn into invites to Beachbody. A prime example today, I was just about 15 minutes before I got on this call, I was messaging back and forth with a guy that I knew in high school. He lives in Arizona now. He owns a hip hop R&B production business, and it came up. He also owns a couple internet site companies that boost people's Facebook pages and all this other stuff for them. And it's interesting because then because I had asked him, what are you up to these days? So then what's his question back to me? What are you up to? So then I got to share with him about Beachbody, and we talked a little bit about that. Did it turn into an invite tonight? No, but it could possibly in the future. So, just reaching out to people, making contact with people, forming and starting to do the relationships. Let me see. Yeah, and then the other thing, as far as we're always, a lot of times we may be hesitant to share the coaching opportunity. I'm going to encourage each of you to at least share that with 1 to 2 people a week. The business opportunity, you never know who will look at that and say, oh my gosh, that's great. I'm totally interested in that. A lot of the people that were the 5 or the 7-star diamond coaches up on stage, they said, I never in a million years dreamt that I would be up on stage presenting to people. The one girl had social anxiety, and through personal development and taking action and doing the personal development and everything, she's been able to grow her business. She graduated with 40 people from her high school class, so she's not in a huge community. She lives up in Wisconsin. So, but what she was stressing is that, she's taken action. She's shared the opportunity with people, and she said, you'll just never know who or when that opportunity can make a difference in somebody's life. So, again, these are all kind of reoccurring themes that all these things aren't going to happen unless we all decide to take action and just do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be pretty, but it just has to move your business forward. And, that all relates back to your goals. And, if you're setting your goals, what are the action steps you then need to take in order to accomplish your goals? Are you doing those on a daily basis, or are you just perusing through Facebook? Again, that's come up, and we've talked about this multiple times on our calls too. You can't just get on Facebook, and it's got to be with a purpose and with a focus. You don't want to just start browsing through and looking at everybody's leads. Dan's big on that now. He's really changed the way that he looks at Facebook and that time he spends on Facebook. Let me look over at my notes here for a second. And if anyone wants to comment while I'm looking or say anything, feel free.
Chatty bunch.
Yeah. All right. So there was a girl there, Alyssa Shoemaker, and she was talking about how what really took her business to the next level was when she decided to create non-negotiables. And she really pushes this down to her team. And that includes Success Club 10 every month. She told a story how it was the last day of the month, and she is at Success Club 4, and she literally just got online and she reached out to, she said, over 100 people that day, because she wasn't getting anywhere with it. She was trying to get it. She was friend requesting people, messaging them, telling them what she was, that asking them and creating these quick relationships. And really, but when I thought about that, it's like she was still focusing on the relationship. She wasn't just saying, hey, do you want to buy a challenge pack? She was still focused on them as a person, but she was just like maximizing the amount of people. So, but that's her non-negotiable. She has to get to Success Club 10 every month, which she said, that last day of the month is an extreme case, but her other non-negotiable is to invite 10 people per day. All right. Or communicate with 10 people per day. That's her, she said, if you want to have a 6-figure income, then that's what you need to do. That's absolutely the formula to do it, is reach out to 10 people a day and make Success Club 10 every single month. So, hearing that, and it was kind of, by the time I left Saturday, I was kind of like, all right, already, enough. I've heard that, but that's Melanie. That's what Melanie does. That's what everyone underneath Melanie is doing, that is trying to grow their business, that's shooting for elite, that's shooting to be a top coach, that's shooting to get their, business up and running. If you have different goals, if your goals aren't that, but they are to get your Shakeology paid for, or they are to, just maybe, earn an extra $1,000 a month, pay your mortgage, then, let's talk about that stuff. Talk to your personally sponsored coach, talk to Dan, me, Beth, whoever you want to. We're all happy to help you with that. That's, let's see. And there was Katie Ursta was there, and she really said something that kind of goes in line with her business and what a lot of people are looking at. And it's like, she wrote a couple things down, or on her slide it says, your thoughts become words, your words become belief, belief becomes action, actions become habit, and habit becomes your reality. And, I thought about that, and the more I thought about that, it is true. Your thoughts often become your words, or that's just your mind talking to you. That's what's going on in your head. And if it's positive, you're going to be more positive. If it's negative, obviously you're going to be more negative, and things are going to get you down. Your words become your belief. Your belief becomes your action, right? Because you're only going to act on those things that you believe in. So if I don't believe in something, I'm not going to act on it, right? and your actions become habit. And she said that's a lot of times where people fall off, is that they may do the actions for a little while or for a week or for 2 days, but then they don't become a habit. They become just an action that they've done for a couple days, and then it falls off. So your actions, need to become your habits, and then your habits will become your reality. Okay, so the reality of it is, and I was talking about this on our drive home on Sunday from the Super Sunday event up in Cleveland. It was brought up to me and pointed out to me that Chris Baumer, he closed the presentation up there. Well, I was with Chris Baumer, Josh Spencer's parents, and couple other people at one of the Super Saturdays, like 3.5, almost 4 years ago. And it kind of really, I think Dan may have pointed this out, so thanks, Dan. But no, but it's one of those things. It's like Chris, Josh, and I'm not sure about his parents, but they are all in the Millionaires Club. And I thought about that, and I was like, wait a minute, what's the missing piece of the puzzle here? And the missing piece to that puzzle for me not being there, because I started at the same time those guys did. So, I don't have an excuse. I have the reality. And my reality in this whole thing is that I never created the habits. I didn't create the consistency until about 2 years 2 years into my business is when I finally said, okay, enough's enough. I'm either going to make this work or I'm not. And I've decided to make it work. So I'm still now, creating the habits, and I'm still doing the actions that are going to create habits that are going to cause a reality, and that's kind of where I get a little excited, a little emotional about it, is because I think about that. And the only difference between them and me, and it's Mark, you've been here with me, man. You've been here with me for a long time too. And it's like, the only thing that is different that's separating us from them is truly our actions, and have our actions set in to become habits, which then would become our reality. So that's, that stinking word action just keeps coming up over and over again the last couple of days. And it's something that, it's starting to really just sink in that we need to take action. We need to do this if we're going to be successful, and if you want to have a successful business. Okay, so actions. Now, this is something that I wanted to talk about too, because truly Chris Baumer, when he was closing up that presentation up at the Super Sunday, he was like, guys, my goals are big, hairy, scary goals. And he shared a couple of he accomplished 2 of his biggest goals in 2014. He became, part of the Millionaires Club, and he paid off $170,000 or $60,000 mortgage. But the thing that we need to remember is, he asked, how do you get there? How ultimately, any goal you set with Beachbody, what does it come down to? And it comes down to helping people. So, when you listen to that and you hear that, it's the absolute truth. He's been able to help thousands of people. His coaches, his team, they've been able to help, I guess, hundreds of thousands of people. I don't know. He has so many. He's built such a big team under him, but it's because his focus is on how many, helping people. So this is a business, and we need to set business goals when you're trying to grow a business. But the awesome thing about this business is that our success is directly related to how many people we help. Okay, so it's a challenge pack, and the Beachbody breaks it down and says, listen, you need to get this many Success Club points and this much volume and this and that, which it's great, that's fine, because that's the end result of helping a person. But ultimately, our focus, as we've been hearing over and over again too, is we need to just help people. And how many people are we helping? So, you look at it, and if you look at your business, and you can go back and you can look at your orders for the year, and you can break it down, and you can see how many people did I help this past year. Okay. And how many people did you help? Well, if you want to double your business, like that's one of my goals this year, is to double my business, then guess what that means? I need to double the amount of people I help, right? Me personally. So if you want to double your income, then we need to double the amount of people that we're helping. And, that's encouraging to me, because it really, I don't know, it really does. It's something just clicks with that. And I love to hear that. And I know that, there is a business side to this, but ultimately it comes down to the personal side and being able to reach out to people and being able to help people. So let's see if there was anything else here. I could probably do about 15 team calls off some of this stuff if I broke it down and really focused on different topics here. I just wanted to give you guys kind of an overview. And I'm sure if you guys would have attended the meetings, you would have walked out of there with something completely different than I did. Speaking of that, the other thing that I wanted to kind of reiterate to people, a common theme as well, was to, as far as personal development is concerned, do what you need to work on. Okay, don't look at Glenn, don't look at Beth. I just pulled a Sean T on you guys. I spoke in third person. Don't look at Glenn, don't look at Beth or Dan or whoever and say, oh, what are you doing for personal development? All right, because everybody has different areas that we need to work on. Some people have social anxiety. Some people will have harder times talking to people, connecting with people. And one of the things that I've learned, not only from Darren Hardy, but what was a common theme at this meeting here in Pittsburgh, was, listen, there are some key books that you need to read as a Beachbody coach. One of them being The Compound Effect, Go for No. That's a quick read. Mark recommended I read that a long time ago. It's a very quick read. I think I read that thing in like a day, if it even took that long. The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. That was another one that was brought up multiple times. So there are some books in there that I would say, yeah, these are kind of our gold standards. Go Pro on Sunday. That I'm a huge Eric Worre fan with Go Pro. But that is directly to speaking to us as network marketers. We were going to cover the closing.
We'll have to do that next
We'll have to do that next time. Yeah. Cause I've been blurbing and blabbing here, but I guess my takeaway message to you guys is that, even with the personal development, don't worry about how many books you're going to read. Okay. Worry about the book that you choose to read, that it's in your area where you need to grow. It's in your area where you need to develop as a person, and master that. Okay. I know Dan, for example, he knew that he needed to become a better organized person. So he chose 2 books. I believe it was 2 books. And I don't know if you listened to podcasts or whatever, but when did you begin that? Back in October? And he's been working. He started that back in October, just reading those 2 books, focusing on those 2 books to help him get organized. So the common message is master it. Okay. If you're reading a book, do all the tasks in it, at the end of the chapter, a lot of them will talk about, do these certain things, action items, right? Take the action and do those action items in order to develop in that area. Because if you just read a book, I hear a lot of people say, oh, I'm going to read a book a week or a book a month. And it's like, why? What good? I've tried that route before. I've done that before early on. And it was just like, okay, done. Now what? Okay, done. Now, and it didn't really, I learned from them, but I didn't capture it and plug it in and take action on it. So again, I'm going to be quiet now, and I'm going to open it up to questions, comments, or anything that anyone else wants to add to the call, add value to it. Let's see, I'll unmute the lines here. Does anyone have anything off the top of their head that they want to talk about?
I think just a little comment, just reiterating one of the things you said. I think it's just really taking time to stop and think to yourself and examine yourself and say, am I truly doing the action steps? Or what action steps do I need to do? Is what I'm doing an action step that's moving my business forward? And I think that's kind of the point where I've gotten. Like, that's why before we started recording this, I think it was before we started recording, I was talking about now I'm just picking up the phone. When I get a new lead from Beachbody, I pick up the phone and I call them. No more email responder, no more, I'm calling them. That's an action step that I've not been taking. I've been hoping that they would respond to an email, respond to a text. Even though those are action steps, the phone call is a little bit more direct for me. That's where I'm actually better at talking to people on the phone than I am through email. So it makes sense for me to try to call them. And like I said, not everybody's action steps will be the same, but stopping and saying, okay, what action steps do I need to take? Because sometimes we make it too complicated. Glenn said at the beginning of the call, we plan and we plan and we plan. And his buddy said, you need to just take action. So that's kind of the point you get. It doesn't have to be pretty. You just got to do something that moves your business forward. So examine yourself is, I think, a good point.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyone else have anything they want to add or questions or? No? Mark, you got anything? It looked like you almost had something come to your mind there.
Yeah, I'm just contemplating, thinking. I was thinking like, well, maybe we should, as a group, whoever's on the call tonight, should each commit to an action step we think we need to make and reporting back in a week from today on the call and just kind of holding each other accountable. And I don't know, I thought might be kind of neat just to see where everybody's at a week from now, knowing that everybody's watching everybody, and we could even put it on the team page and just, I don't know, it would help me.
You know, it's interesting you bring that up because I was thinking, it's like, okay, what do I do with this? I mean, I know I have goals. I know we have these challenge groups, right? We have challenge groups, and what's the main purpose of the challenge groups? It's accountability, right? And so as far as accountability goes, I have a success club partner or success partner. You know, there's some accountability in there, but you know, Beth, our neighbor down the road, Beth is our neighbor down the road. Her coach is who's her personally sponsor? Meg Wazinski. And so Leanne, what Meg does is she has her coaches who are serious about the business. If they want, well, I won't go down that road, but if the coaches that are serious about their business and running their business, they have to turn in the BAT to her every week.
No, every day
I'm
they
sorry.
take a picture of their BAT and send it to her. And they also have to write down one thing that they learned when they read their personal development that day.
Right. So I know in the past, I've tried starting some accountability groups and stuff like that for people who want to really grow their business. And, you know, I need accountability. I mean, I need it. I love our accountability groups, challenge groups, because it makes me accountable to work out. But you know, that's one area, Mark, that I think that I love the point you brought up, that I don't have a strong accountability other than, you know, my own. And, you know, I need support. I need help to, if I'm going to reach these goals and I'm going to get elite in 2015 and I'm going to get some of these goals and stuff that I want to get, I'm going to need accountability. So, you know, I'd even be willing to take that a step further and say, hey, if we want to do, you guys, would we want to form a group? And it just be people who want to be all in with it.
Well, even in Stay True. I mean, that's setting a good example for people.
Right.
Posting in Stay True. Because I'll tell you, mine, Mark, is to reach out or to connect with 10 people. Like, so have, message threads going with at least 10 people each day. And some of mine today were still some of the ones from yesterday, we're still forming and whatever. And then some are new, and I have to do a couple more before I go to bed here tonight. But that, and my goal is always Success Club. I mean, you guys know that about me, and I'm at 8 right now, and I'm not going to stop. I want to get to 10. I really want to get to 15, but, that's why I posted last night about the refresh. It's like, my gosh, that's $10 right now. Like, we have to just keep sharing it. And I thought maybe that post would be annoying because I just posted about a max group for the second, but I have 5 people that want to do the refresh. Some of them are current customers, so I'm not going to get Success Club points for them, but I'm still going to make the money and get the volume and, help them hopefully lose a few more pounds. So that's where I think we need to make sure that we realize, who cares? It might, you might get, like Dan saying, I'm a little nervous to call them. I'm nervous. I don't want to post too much. But then if your post on Facebook helps one person, that may mean it gets you, a sale. But sometimes for me, it just is someone reaching out to me saying, wow, thank you so much for that. That really made my day. And that's enough, and that post is worth it. So don't worry about who you're going to annoy or who's going to, because they can block you if they don't really want you. Same thing with, as I'm messaging people, I've been checking back in with some people, and the one girl said today, I'm doing well. We're fighting these colds and whatever. She's like, I'm still thinking about your proposition about the group, because this was like from months ago. She's like, I'm just not ready to commit. And that's fine. Like, I'm going to message her back and just not even mention the group. But I think it's just the consistency. We know how to do it. We just don't always do it. So
We don't take action, right?
right. So, and I mean, I've been trying to take action, and I'm way better off right now than I was last year at this time. So I was talking to Jen and Heather, or messaging with them earlier, and it's like, you're building a following right now. So it might seem like crickets when you posted about the refresh, but just keep doing it, and post when you do the refresh. So people, because it just sparks people's interest. So, I mean,
It took years.
What's that, Mark?
So it took years to build the following, I mean, now
Right.
we've been doing it for a long time. It took years to build a following.
And that's what I was telling Glenn at dinner, or whenever we were talking about it earlier. Like, I've been doing this for like 18 months. So yeah, that's a lot of time. And I mean, I'm nowhere near like the rank I want to be or anything like that, but
So here's just a timeline Melanie did, and I don't know if she talked about this on her call, but basically Melanie, who just won the Top Coach Award, said her first month as a Beachbody coach, she made $30. Okay. Month 2, she made Success Club 5 and advanced to Emerald. 9 months later, so she was Emerald. 9 months after she became Emerald, she advanced to Diamond. All right. She talked about why it took her so long, and it came down to action. She wasn't taking actions and doing the actions. She was 1-star Diamond in January. After that 9-month period, she became 1-star Diamond. She wanted to go to the success trip, or what was the the leadership meeting, which you had to be 2-star to qualify for, and she missed it by just not getting 1 more Diamond. And she said she remembered she was in her basement working out. The next day she found out that she wasn't going to get it, and she said, I literally was like ticked off. I was mad. I was angry. And she said, I took that and I channeled that towards the fact that I'm not going to let this happen again. And, she she kind of basically just from that point on, that was her turning point. That was her turning point in her business, was that she missed that. She missed her because one of her coaches didn't become diamond. She missed going to that meeting. And so that was her turning point. And that was kind of like from that point on, she started the whole 10, the whole 10 rule, the non-negotiable 10 rule. But, she did it through having a fit club, doing her blog, Facebook, her social media, Instagram, running challenge groups. She said, run 2 challenge groups a month, not 1, but 2, because you always want to have something to invite people to. If somebody's on fire and they buy a challenge pack, and then you say, oh, well, our next group starts in 3 weeks. She said, they may be duds by then and return it, or they may not, their fire may be gone by then. So she said, have something going every 2 weeks.
Yeah, I agree with that.
She said, there is, and she didn't have family support. Her husband, when she became a coach, they were broke. And basically he said, she told him one morning that she had signed up and became a coach because she had saved some money from her birthday money from her mom or something like that. And she sat down on the couch next to him and said, oh, I signed up as a coach. And he goes, oh, that was stupid. That was a waste of money. And he was there at the meeting, and she kind of looked over at him and said, what do you think about that now, honey? And he's just like, well, he just started laughing. But, so she didn't have the family support, and it does take a winning mindset. She was talking about a winning mindset and personal development, sacrifice. It's going to take sacrifice. She gets up at 5 a.m. every morning. That doesn't matter what time she goes to bed. She gets up at 5 a.m. And that was something else that I saw consistent among her team was 5 a.m. You're up, you're out of bed, you're working your business before the kids are up. And, they said, Darren Hardy just sent out on one of his emails, I think it was today or yesterday, that I get is, the early bird gets a worm. And he said, you should form a 5 a.m. club, and be part of the 5 a.m. club. And
I'm a up till midnight club, so
well, see, yeah, and then she
my
said,
day is reversed.
right, and that's where Melanie was talking about. That's how she was. That to build her business, she was up till midnight and getting up at 5. And she said there were days she literally would almost feel like just crawling across the carpet but she wanted to get out of bed. She knew that's what she had to do.
So back to the close your notes for
Yeah,
now.
I'm going to
You've given
close
us
my
enough
notes.
info. Back to the group, like why don't we make a post in Stay True, and that even if it's, do we have a pinned post in Stay True?
Not right now. It's a team call tonight. It used to be the calendar.
Oh, happened to the
So.
calendar.
It's
I think
on.
it needs to be. I think it needs to be. I guess my concern is every time we've tried to do a group before, or I've ever tried to lead a group, we always get so much on our plate that it's instantly overwhelming, and you've got homework assignments and everything. I think with something as simple as, especially because there's always 6 to 15 people on these calls who are pretty serious. Obviously, it's pretty easy to follow that many people right now, and like Beth said, it's it'll rub off on other people hopefully, but I think just even for me, just giving you guys one goal to hold me accountable to would be huge. But
Right.
I guess I just feel like it's got to be simple to some extent. It can't be something we all have to invest 2 hours a day in trying to do a list of things, I guess. But
Yeah.
So what we all have to agree on is it okay just in a post in Stay True? I mean, I liked our group where we had to check in, that daily check-in, our success formula.
Right.
I was doing that every single day. But
I was horrible with it though.
what's
I was
that?
the opposite.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Well, maybe if it's in
Hey, Mark.
True, that ups your accountability even more because all your own coaches are seeing you,
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Hey, Mark,
Yeah.
what is one goal that you have that we can keep you accountable to?
For me right now, being product of the product. Shakeology is an easy one for me, but just not missing a workout for me. I mean, for me, it's I've gained a lot of weight back, and for me, my I pride myself and sell myself and my services I want to offer to these people based on that. So right now for me, it's tough to have any confidence to talk to people because I've not been doing it consistently. So, like somebody like Sean Parent on the call is awesome at sticking to that. But like he just commented, he has a tough time with some of the business stuff. Whereas I can do the business stuff, but now I'm just lacking confidence. That's a good one for me right now. Just staying on my butt with that and eating.
What program are you doing, Mark?
I started T25 Monday, but I have a very good friend who it's actually Ashley's uncle, which is kind of weird. And he's a guy I work with named Doug, but he just ordered a challenge pack for me today at T25. So as soon as he gets that, we're going to start it together, and we see each other every other day. So I'm looking forward to that, having one-on-one interaction with somebody. So we're going to do that.
And you should be posting that workout because there's a couple people in your Monday group
Yeah, the group that starts Monday.
that are doing T25. So that would be great in there if you guys were all on. I don't know if he'll have his by Monday, but
Right.
that'd be awesome. I think it's so fun in the challenge groups when you're doing the exact same workout as everybody.
Yeah, I agree.
That could be good too. But I'm gonna write it
Hey,
down.
Mark.
Yeah.
What time of day you plan on work out every day?
It's going to be mornings. It's going to be probably around somewhere between 5 and 6. I would say 99% of the time. It doesn't. If I go to work, just having such a physical job, when I go to work and I come home with the intentions of doing it when I get home, it's tough to do it. I'm usually spent. So nutrition is going to be big, and just getting that workout consistent again.
Say if you don't get your workout in, if we text you at 6:30 a.m. every day and you haven't got your workout in, how do you want us to respond?
Yell at me. I'm fine with the boot camp. I need that push. Just knowing people are watching that intently this is what happened the first time we ever did a challenge group when I became a coach, 3 or 4 years ago, however much that was, Glenn. That was like eye-opening to me, and it was really easy to stay. I wanted to win. I wanted to be posting the most, and it was exciting. And then obviously that over time that wears off, and that's when things started to, and you got 15 different groups going on, and you're starting a program and quitting a program. So yeah, just knowing that people are expecting to see that from me. Because right now it's loose enough that, I could post for once and then not for 2 weeks, and no one would really notice,
Yeah, well, I think here's the problem. We probably have noticed, but we didn't know how to maybe respond to you. So if we commit to texting you or tagging you every day, do you commit to answering us?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, always. Yep.
Okay, so that's good. I'm going to make a post and stay true with these. I'm going to say for me, 10 people, Mark, a daily workout with the nutrition component.
Yeah.
Carrie, you're going to be a new dad. So what's your goal?
Well, I'll tell you what's working for me right now, and I haven't really got a sale from it, but it seems to be building momentum, is just that I've been posting every day on my personal page the same thing I'm posting. I was so nervous about doing that at first, but now I'm kind of over it, and it's getting
so
really
good. And Melanie Mitchell, I remember listening to a call from her a long time ago, and that's what she said was she just started posting her workout every single day, and people saw that every single day. So I think you're doing, if you can keep that up and have a new baby in the house.
Yeah, that's going to be a challenge. I'm going to try like heck because I enjoy it, and I want to get that post done. So that's definitely going to be my goal, is to get enough sleep to continue doing that.
Right.
Right.
Or at least for the next couple of weeks. I'm sure after the first few weeks it'll be helpful. But I get way more response from that than I ever did any of my posts trying to,
And that's just you being a product of the product,
Yeah.
It's not threatening to anyone. It's just motivating to them.
Yeah.
So,
And it's all, I wish people would kind of post in those posts, like comment in them, but it's all private messages, which is fine, because
okay.
Right.
I get mostly private messages, or just when I bump into somebody, on the street, they're like, hey, keep it up. You're doing great. Although I did see one of the person I've been messaging with is doing P90X3. So I want to ask her how she got it, but I'm kind of holding off for a little bit. So I was a little bummed out.
Ask her.
And
Just take action,
this
man.
is the way I would
Oh,
say
yeah.
you can just say, hey, I saw you're doing X3. You have a coach. Like I would, you're welcome to sign up under me to be a free, one of my free customers. And, I'd love to put you in one of our challenge groups if you're interested.
Yeah.
So that way she can see, like, you're not trying to get her commission, you're just offering the accountability. So,
Yeah.
and then if she ever, orders again or tries Shakeology or whatever, she's already under you.
Because what's the worst thing she could say? yeah, I'm working with the coach. And then you say, oh, great, good. I'm glad to hear that because I know it's, a lot, your success will be a lot better if you work.
And sometimes, like I have a guy right now, he bought Body Beast. He just totally reached out to me out of the blue, a football player that we went to college with. And he's like, I bought Beast. I've been friends with him for years on Facebook, never have been interacting with him, Sean McGuire.
Yeah.
And he said, I said, do you have a coach? Like I kind of said a few things and he never answered that, but he's still been like, Beth, I have it. I've never tried it yet. And I'm like, come on, man, like, you need to do it. And I've hinted around a little bit more about it, but I'm like, you know what? For now, I'm just going to interact with him. And
yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to, because I don't have a ton of confidence either as far as the business part of it, but this feels more comfortable, and I think it's going to lead to things. So.
right.
So
one guy's a truck driver. He wants to try to do it in his truck. He hasn't committed yet either, but that'll be pretty interesting.
that'd be
Oh
awesome.
my gosh.
I used to ride dirt bikes with him, and he's kind of, we both moved on from that kind of, and he's
Well, that's
trying
awesome.
So
and
I think that what you're experiencing here is the sharing aspect of this business. It doesn't have to be sales. It is sharing, and you're sharing your experience, and then you're able to share your experience with other people. So, keep that in mind too. It's a sharing business, not a hardcore sales,
Yeah, and that's
ultimately
not
there's
as
a,
threatening.
right. There is a sales component to it.
Right.
Do it because eventually you'll say, hey, would you be interested? But at the same time, just share,
Yeah. And that feels a lot more comfortable after you've been discussing things.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, and the good thing is after someone says, wow, you really inspire me, then you feel so much better. Like, then I'm like, oh, let me, I'm asking them
Yeah.
for their own goals, and you're establishing trust with them now. So, okay, I'm going to put you down for your daily workout post. And we understand if you, new baby.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
Tomorrow I'm probably going to miss, unfortunately.
yeah.
No excuses.
What time do you guys have to be there?
5:30, right? Yeah, 5:30 we have to be at the hospital.
Oh, you can get up at 4:30, dude. Come on.
No, that's exciting. I hope I'll be.
I already told Jen to text me in the morning, so we'll see. I don't think she's gonna, but we were joking about that today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only way I'm getting my workout in is if I get up when Jen gets up.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
She's probably asleep already, though, I would
Yeah.
assume.
If she's not on here, she better be asleep. No.
Yeah.
Okay, Chrissy, you have any goals for us? One goal for the week.
I don't know. I feel like I'm starting out back with nothing. So
Well, that's fine.
just
Yeah.
reaching out to probably 3 people a day would be a good goal. I think.
Right. And remember, it can just be connecting with them. Like go through your news feed and find something. Then when you message them, you can say, oh my gosh, that picture of your kids was adorable. How have you been? And just enough so you can start a conversation. And remember, whenever you message someone, it brings your news feed back into theirs. So, there's some people, we have like hundreds of friends that never even see our posts, but once you reach out to them, even if it's through a message or liking one of their posts, it'll bring your things back in too. So, that's helpful. Then if you share a recipe or something later, she'll,
Right.
So, okay,
yeah.
I'm going to put 3.
But you're absolutely right. It doesn't have to be 10 people. It can be 2 people, 3 people.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, Dan the man, what you got?
Just thinking about this. Obviously, I have a pretty good grasp on the exercise part of it. Nutrition-wise, I got a few things I can work on, but I don't want I think what I want from you guys is this whole phone call thing, since this is my new kick. I want to make at least 2 phone calls. And I know that may sound like a small goal, but it's going to start with 2 phone calls during the lunchtime hour. By 1:30 every day, I should have 2 phone calls done.
Okay.
Because I have a pretty big backlog of customers that I can reach out to who have never made contact, even though I've messaged them and never heard from them.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Please report back next week and let us know if it's been successful. Wait, what's your goal?
Mine's got to be 10 people a day.
Okay.
I mean, non-negotiable 10 people a day, which I've got about 6 more tonight I got to do. So,
Okay.
Sean,
We got Sean on there too.
My action will be the.
To do power jumps? Oh, wait, no, power.
power jumps for an hour
We know
every
we
day.
can do
Dude, you're sick.
Oh my god. Okay, power hour every day. I love that. And I should be saying that about myself, but I'm sticking with the 10 people.
All right, so the power hour every
Okay,
day,
Sean.
Sean, what's one of the top priorities in that power hour that you're going to focus on?
Is it 10? You need to stop recording this.
All right, 2 to 3 people.
Okay.
Awesome. So that'll be our goal for you. During your power hour to at least contact 2 to 3 people.
Okay.
All right. I like it.
You can stop.
All right, I'm going to stop the recording now.